Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to all of you, depending on where you are and when you're watching this. My name is KibbyRose. It is November 13th for me. It is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it is a rainy, dark, drizzly day here in Spokane, Washington, which is the perfect kind of day to have the fire going, a warm cup of coffee, a little bit of music in the background, and sprints. Writing and sprints and chatty time. So hello and welcome to everybody who's here for some talking points, and hello and welcome to everybody who's here for the sprints too. Let me go ahead and run the intro and we will get ready to go. I'm excited. I'm one of those weird people. I love rainy days. So I'm happy to be here and to get stuff going. But let me get the opener going, and we'll go from here. There. Hey, Jeannie. Hello, my Jeannie in a bottle. How are you? So today is a great day to get sprints done because it's a rainy day, and to talk about crazy talking points and just have a nice, comfortable, cozy day. I've already gotten some work done this morning. I was going to say something before I hopped into this, and then I saw Jeannie and my brain just blanked. But I'm here going to be working on my outline for things. If you notice, my setup is a little bit different because I'm starting to work on my book and everything full time. I kind of moved more of my office out to my streaming area, and I might have to jump out, and if I hear the doorbell, because I'm waiting on an Amazon package, because I got a wireless keyboard and a laptop stand. So streaming will be a little bit easier and better and more conducive, and getting my work done and my book done will be a lot easier, and everything else. So I'm super excited. I am surprisingly doing fabulous. I hope the rest of you are too during this crazy weather. You are fabulous. Yes. Been working on the new book series. Very nice. Yes. And if any of you don't know, Jeannie is not only a moderator here on the channel, but she also has her own channel. And she also has her own book series that is available on Amazon. So Jeannie, if you want to pitch a link or whatever in the comment section, you can go ahead and do that, and I can pin it to the live stream when we're done. For those of you that are also interested, before we jump into talking points, I am going to be, I'm not quite sure how we're going to do it, but I do have a little surprise coming. I'm working in the background with a friend of mine to do a combined project, and we're going to have some law reaction and law reviews coming soon. So I'm excited about that. I've been working hard on that in the background, and yeah, so first thing I'm going to cover is, and since this is a live stream, hold on, because my mother just texted me, and I'm one of those people that if my mother texts me, I have to respond. I have to look. Okay. So anybody who's watching, say a little prayer. My mother is headed home from the dealership in wet weather. She is 73, and I love the woman, but she may not be the most, let's just say I don't necessarily like riding with her in the car. So say a little prayer for my mom that she gets home safely. And hello, Cora. So, and that's what I was going to mention. So I'm going to bring this up. Hi, everybody, working on video editing. I'm just going to warn everybody. I've already watched this happen to several live streams that I've watched this morning. For some reason, StreamYard is throwing an absolute hissy fit with everybody today. It doesn't matter if you have a hardline connection. It doesn't matter if your Wi-Fi is there. It does not matter. People are coming through glitchy, choppy. Streams are dropping off on ends. I've watched 4 live streams this morning. Not a single person didn't have a problem. I was absolutely mind blown. And I do agree with what Emily D. Baker said this morning, that it's their bandwidth. They switched companies and went to a smaller bandwidth, and you've got too many live streamers. Mainstream media is shutting down, which is one of my talking points today. So More people are doing live streaming on YouTube. StreamYard, for some reason, instead of running with the market, they fell backwards, and none of us can figure out why. So forgive my stream today if it's a bit glitchy or choppy, or I come through like a robot, because evidently it doesn't matter. It absolutely doesn't matter if you have Wi-Fi or a hard line or using a laptop or a computer or your phone. You're just going to struggle today with StreamYard and everything else. But I don't blame it, because I'm going to move right into my talking points, because if you haven't been paying attention, for those of you who may be a little bit busier in your life and not being able to watch the world news, here's your splash of reality. There is so much going on right now, and I'm just going to give you a quick dose of weather changes, global changes, and maybe what you should be doing to prepare yourself for a little bit of a blessing and for this month, okay? So the first thing we're going to talk about is, please be careful this season. I don't know how many people I have seen get either walking pneumonia or this whooping cough or the avian flu. And I'm just going to say to any of those who've gotten the pneumonia and it's knocked you out, I'm with you. 6 months ago, I got it. I actually ended up quitting smoking cigarettes because of the fact that I ended up going to the hospital, unable to breathe. First time I've ever been put on steroids for lung anything in my life. And I actually quit smoking because I couldn't smoke a cigarette for 3 days. And I figured, I've been wanting to quit anyway. Might as well. The hardest part is over. They always say if you can get past the first 3 days, you're good. And they're not wrong. So please, everybody, take care of yourself. I was going to say, if you are getting that cough, double down on the emergency. Start taking the gummy vitamin C's. Get yourself some echinacea. Start with ginger and lemon in the morning. Like, have a glass of hot ginger, lemon, and water in the morning before your cup of coffee. Like, just do lukewarm and guzzle it down. It'll help a lot more if you're trying to fight stuff off. So yes, please be careful. And if you need to, it started last week. Yes, if it's in your chest, I got to the point where I literally could not stop coughing. It was so bad. And I was lucky enough that I went to the emergency room right before it turned to pneumonia, but it's turning it. Yeah, it's taking people out. And now with the report of the avian flu in Canada, we're going to have to be careful. Also, moderators, my girls, I got into a little argument with a Karen this morning, and I have this weird feeling that person might try to come into the channel while I'm live and spam the comments. So just keep an eye out for that. For anybody, yeah, I'm hoping it won't happen. I already put up some protection shields regarding it because I could feel it coming. But this person was just, anyway. I'm not going to get into it. But also, I kind of want them to come in and spam, because basically if they do come in and spam, all it does is prove my point that they're a total Karen. And yeah, it's one of those things where, like, I don't want it to happen, but at the same time I kind of do. And you guys know me. You know how I work. Like, I'm like, if the karma's going to happen, I'm going to let it happen and I'll roll with it. However, I don't want the negativity. So the next thing I wanted to warn you guys about is, I was touching base on the avian flu has hit Canada, and there's evidently 19 or 20 people reported in the hospital because of it, which I like the BBC, because they are like, well, if 20 people are reported to have it in hospitals, that probably means that there's a good handful of people out there that haven't gone to the hospital. And I was just like, I like you. So just be aware that now that's running around. I highly suggest that because avian flu and walking pneumonia have very similar symptoms. The only difference is the way you treat them. So if you are getting symptoms and you've been exposed to any like livestock or birds, go in and get checked. If you haven't been exposed to livestock or birds, don't worry about it. It's probably just walking pneumonia. But this is for all my country folk that live in Alabama and Georgia and, all my southern people out there. The next thing is the weather changes. Everybody needs to prep for a very extreme winter. Next summer to be a very extreme summer. Just start kind of stocking up on things, because I don't know if that's true, but wow. Well, we'll give the warning because they just came in strong with that. Like, it might be so hot next summer that we might be having grids overheat where they're having to shut down electricity for a couple of days. They're referencing that the weather is not only going to be like they're already proving it with hurricane season coming in. Okay, they're already proving it with the floods in Spain. They're already proving it with the snowstorm that hit Colorado. The fact that we are actually having a full-blown hurricane this late in November, and they're predicting it actually into like, and here's another weird thing is when I heard the rest of the list of the hurricane list, they said it was Sarah, Tony, and William. And I was like, that is one of my childhood friends, one of my exes, and my grandfather. Why? And then I was just like, why do I have a feeling that all the hurricane names are going to be covered this season? And it hit me just the same way that a lot of other predictions went. And I just kind of went, no. So for any of you that are in the South down there, or in like, if you think hurricane season is over, my angels are saying, no, like we're actually good. Like, I hope I'm wrong. It's one of those things where I hope I'm wrong, but I have a feeling we might get through the list on that. So we have at least, there's Sarah's already named. So we would have at least two more. And I feel really bad for everybody down there because who would have thought that hurricane season, this is going to be the late, Sarah is going to be the latest hurricane that we've had reported on record. And yeah, and the South is in the middle of tornado season. We're going to get a snowstorm next week. They're already prepping us and telling us to prep for snow and rain. The new version of snow and rain. It's not sleet anymore. It's snore. That's why I ended up getting my car in yesterday for the alignment and the tires and the oil change, because I was just like, I'm getting that taken care of before the weather hits. And that's actually why my mom is coming home from right now, because I got mine in and she's like, oh, maybe I should get in mine in too. So we did it together. But yeah, tornadoes in the middle and southwest. We've got hurricanes still coming up. We've got snowstorms hitting. So, and then moving into global changes, and I can, my Wi-Fi is strong, but StreamYard is fighting me and I can see it. So I'm probably coming in like a robot. That's why I warned everybody. So, I hate, you want to tick me off on a live stream with people, you turn them into robots and slow them down, man. Anyway, here in Indiana, we are at the end of tornado season. Snow season is coming any moment now. Yeah. And it's kind of, and here's one thing I'm going to say about the weather. I said this about hurricane season and kind of nobody believed me, and I'm going to say it again. This winter is going to be bad. It may have started out slow. My angels had told me it's going to be a wet winter, but they're now that was like into December. At the end of December, they're showing me that like in my area in Spokane, we might have snow up until like May, which please no, because I like my warm weather. I love my warm weather. So we'll have to see what happens. But just be aware, if you are in kind of a rural area, or it's not easy for you to get out, or you know that you might be affected by this weather extremes, stock up on supplies, do what you need to do to make sure that you've got what you need, because we all might have one of those situations this winter where you're going to be kind of stuck where you are. Here in Indiana, where I already did that one. Huh. We get lake effect here, and it's oh my gosh. See, and that's the kind of stuff that scares me. Is like I read that, right? I see we get the lake effect and it sucks, and then they show me Buffalo and like 12, 15 feet of snow, and I'm just like, and then they like show like the whole state of New York that way. Oh my gosh, what if, I'm sorry, but no offense to downtown Manhattan, but if you got 12 feet, like 12 inches, or no, 12 feet of snow, 12 feet, not 12 inches, 12 feet. Oh, they're like up to the first or second story building. If downtown Manhattan got up to the first or second story building of snow, with the situation that New York is already having, and oh my gosh, and my heart goes out. No, because one of my favorite people on this entire planet, other than my besties. Okay, my favorite famous person, Chloe Lukasiak, just moved to New York. She literally just moved to New York. That's going to make me so mad if that's true. Because, oh my gosh, I do not want, that's not fair. Okay, that just kind of really made me mad. But they're referencing that this is going to happen and the snow stuff is going to happen in New York and everything else. Because right now, Stromboli, we've got volcanoes. We got Popocatépetl in Mexico. We've got the volcano in Belize that just erupted. That's huge. We've got Stromboli and Etna completely blowing off over in Italy. The Icelandic volcanoes are going off. There's now a volcano going off in New Zealand. And my angels are like, all this ash and everything, even though it wasn't what they were able to not do one big like super volcano eruption and they made it pop off in little places, that doesn't mean that the amount of ash and sulfur and everything that's getting pumped into the atmosphere isn't going to affect global changes in weather. And that's what a lot of people aren't predicting. It's like the scientists aren't looking ahead and saying, look, if we did, what happened during Pompeii? What kind of weather changes happened after Pompeii when that much smoke and ash was dumped into the atmosphere? A lot of global changes happened. There's references across the globe that when there's been a major eruption, even when we had the dome, what was it here in America? Oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't remember the name of it because there's so many other volcanoes going off right now. Even when that happened, they referenced that weather changes happened. And right now, so everybody needs to be aware and careful because my angels keep coming in like we said this about hurricane season. We predicted 2 storms were going to become 1. We predicted that we didn't put that on the channel because you guys told me that on the side note, but they're referencing that they referenced the snowstorm was going to be bad. And they're not wrong when they're coming in with this. Is every time this year, the reason that I got confident in being able to put this on my channel is because every time this year that I was watching weather patterns and I would watch something and I would hear, oh, this storm, like we would have a rainstorm here and my angels would say, oh, it's going to do this to here, here, and here. And then I would watch it happen and I would be like, so they built my confidence already on this kind of stuff on their own with me. But now I'm just like, okay, guys, so here's your warning. Not only are we going to probably be fighting a really bad cold and flu season, but we're probably going to be fighting a really bad winter and one that extends beyond what resources are normally capable of handling. So if FEMA is already running out of money with the hurricanes, supposedly allegations and shade. Supposedly FEMA is running out of money. I don't know if that is necessarily true. I'm excuse me. I know not everybody is happy with who was put into office, but there has been some changes on I've even seen it in the stores about how much people are actually purchasing things. So we'll see if we'll be able to have the resources available for the emergencies that are going to be coming, because if not, it really is going to come down to that if you're prepared, you're going to survive. If not, even the wealthy might lose, because the truth is like if the power grid goes out, it doesn't matter how much money you have. If a snowstorm is blowing in, the weather goes out and you don't have a means to keep yourself warm because you didn't plan ahead, you're going to be facing the consequences. So everybody be careful. And on that note, one another way other than, taking up your emergency equipment and making sure you've got enough candles and lights and batteries and freeze-dried food, it's really not that bad, guys. Camping food, freeze-dried food, really not that bad. Stores a long time. I highly suggest making a game out of it and going out and buying some early and tasting what you like and going from there. I'm lucky that my dad had me do that as a kid, because when you're backpacking, freeze-dried food is a lot easier to carry. But yeah, along with that, remember to do your blessings. Okay, so moving into the next thing, as I was dealing with all of this stuff that they were telling me, I literally was it was like, okay, how can I cleanse? Because this was overwhelming. There was a lot of information, and I'm vibrating on a level that I haven't really vibrated before. So I realizing, and I always do this in November because it's my birthday. I forgot to redress my altar for November. So I actually spent the day on Saturday or Sunday deep cleaning my entire house. We're talking, I even pulled all the clothes out of my closet and out of all my drawers and clean and washed everything. Every sheet, every blanket, everything got washed, everything got cleaned. And I cleaned my altar and I redressed my altar. And while I was doing so, I thought, I wonder if people, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown of what I put and how I decorated my altar. I'm going to post some pictures of it on my social media later, but I thought this would be a good thing to share with you guys for any of you that are listening and want to jot it down real quick because you're like, oh crap, I forgot to do that too. Okay, because I know a lot of my followers are also witchy followers. So I have a black and gold cloth that I used because the colors for November are very autumny colors. They're the reds, the golds, the browns, the oranges. Okay. And in those names, you can also figure out like kind of what herbs and crystals to use. But I used one of my black and gold altar cloths. I decorated my altar with acorns, orange peels, and fall leaves that we have outside because living here in Spokane, we still get the trees with the weather change. For crystals, I used agate and golden quartz. For the herbs for my little cauldron, I used chamomile, orange, and bittersweets. For candles, I did yellow, orange, and cream. And if you have a gold candle, add in the gold because that's also a good color to use. I just don't have any gold candles, which I added it to my Amazon list. And then on your manifestation and meditation cards, remember to add in things that you're thankful for. During November, not just because of Thanksgiving, but because it's my birthday, I thank the angels every day for at least one different thing. Whether it's them catching my, like, for instance, if I go to drop something and I'm able to catch it real quick, I'll be like, thank you. So I just make a note that every day I thank them for at least one different thing. And yeah, I don't know. I noticed it makes a difference for me, but that's soon as I did all that and redressed my altar and redecorated it. Oh, the deep breath that I was able to take. And just thinking about it, I was like, oh. And then I saged, obviously, I saged the whole house. And then I burnt patchouli and patchouli incense. And then I actually re-cleansed all my cornerstones and my corner crystals, because for the house, I have cornerstones with my moon water. So, and then on my stone, I actually carved a couple, or on my stone, sorry, on my candle, on my orange candle, I carved a couple of symbols to help protect some loved ones, because I feel like some people I know that I'm connected to are getting attacked. So I did that. And then the other one I did just giving thanks. So there's some ideas of what to do for your altar and your dressings. And we're going, since it's been 20 minutes, we're going to go ahead and jump into one of our sprints. And I'm going to pull up the timer right here. So for those of you that are new, we do 20-minute talking points and then 20-minute sprints. So everybody get ready, because I sure jumped into that fast, didn't I? Everybody run back to your desks, get your pens ready, pull your computers back up, or pull your laptops back up. And we are going to get ready for a 20-minute sprint, because that is what we do here. I am going to play the rock music in the background. That seemed to be the one type of music that everybody liked for the other sprints. And it's easy for me to edit out because it's very clearly marked in the audio bar down below. So that is the one we're going to roll with. So I will see you all in 20 minutes. All right. In 3, 2, 1. And don't forget to mute yourself. And that's the end of that 20-minute sprint. I got a lot more done in that sprint than I really thought I was going to. Simply because and you saw me disappear, and I'm going to touch on this real quick because I want to brag a little bit, or I want to boost somebody's confidence a little bit. Here in Spokane, there is only one Mazda dealership. I have one Mazda service department, and both my mother and I own Mazdas. And there is a new young lady who is working in the service department who needs a pay raise. She needs a huge pat on the back. She needs some praise because there's a lot of stuff that has happened in the last 2 days between me and my mother, where this girl has like Mazda, if you're listening, you need to give this girl like a bonus for her customer service. She has been whipping these guys, these technicians and these mechanics into shape. First of all, there is a lock on my, what is it called? There's a lock on my wheels that you need a lug nut lock. That's what it is. A lug nut. I have a lug nut lock on my wheels, and it comes with a specific key that they're supposed to give you. Well, they were the ones that rotated my tires last time, and she came to me and asked for the key, and I was like, key? What key? Huh? There's a key? If I knew there was a key, I'd have it. So evidently, they had to basically break my lug nuts off my tires without harming my car. And I just felt bad because what was supposed to be just a 1 hour oil change, alignment, whatever, turned into a 4-hour session for me. And I was smart and brought my work and had my YouTube stuff. So I was actually able to keep myself pretty well entertained for those 4 hours. However, even when it came down to me checking out, the warranty, because I purchased my car in Alexandria, Virginia, the warranty department is different because East Coast, West Coast. So just trying to figure out where the warranty was because I have lifetime coverage. I don't pay for oil changes on my car. We got the extended coverage that was like $15,000, where I don't have to pay for oil changes, like maintenance stuff, like the alignment I had to pay for, but the other stuff I didn't. And she had to sit on the phone. Even when I was there, I had to call the Mazda dealership in Virginia, get her their number so that she could call their service department, get through to, and then evidently even today when my mom went in to talk to her, she spent even more time on the phone yesterday dealing with this. So, and then today, evidently something happened with my mom, and a quick half-hour oil change ended up being like doubled. So I heard my mom bragging upstairs about this young lady and everything else, and I wanted to go add my 2 cents because I was like, yes, she was handling it so professionally and so well. And it's not easy to come to your customers with bad news. Like, you could see the dread in her eyes when she came to me to tell me, we can't get your tires off, pretty much. She didn't word it like that. She definitely was far more professional in the way she worded it. However, it was pretty much like, we can't get your tires off your car because we don't have the key to your lug nuts, and we don't want to break things. Anyway, so I just wanted to give a little shout out. I've been struggling here in Spokane trying to find good people, and honestly good people. And I decided that since I have my YouTube channel, I'm going to give a shout out to the rarities that I see around here when it comes to finding good people here in Spokane. So to the young lady in the service department that helped me yesterday and helped my mother today with our Mazdas, thank you, because you awesome customer service, everything, awesome person, awesome customer service, awesome environment. Like, you kept everything. Yeah. You're doing great. Keep going. And I hope you hear this. So I see Miss Cora, a little under 5 minutes to edit left. Yes. Then got to film intro, outro, then edit it all together. I don't envy you, girl, because you have to do a different intro and outro, like based on what scam caller you called that day. I'm actually very grateful that I can actually have like a preset opener and closer where I can just like drop, and y'all can speed through it if you want. And that's pretty much why I have it, is like it covers all the legalities that I need to get out of the way. But I'm like, if you don't want to deal with the intro, you can just speed right through. And it's standard. You know how long it's going to be. It's the same thing every time. So, and then StreamYard is not the only technology that is having a fit. My video editing pro is doing acting up as well. You know, and okay. And now I need to make a note for myself, because we were supposed to get that sun flare. It was supposed to graze us. And I wonder if it actually hit us, because for us, it seems like technology seems to be struggling. Because if it's not just that, it could be. I haven't used, what day was that I did that? Saturday? What day did I upload my videos? I don't remember. I think Sunday I uploaded my videos, or was it Monday? One of the days. I spent the whole day editing. And I actually was shocked to find out that my iMovie was not struggling. Also, for anybody who doesn't know, there's a trick I found. If you find that iMovie is literally sucking up a lot of your storage data, okay, go up to iMovie, like in the bar up at the top where it says iMovie next to file, click on settings, and there's render files. It says delete render files to free up storage space. And I have found, because I work on a laptop, that if I am editing and I have to do a lot of cuts, about every 10 cuts, I just keep that window up and press delete. And my computer doesn't end up doing that lag time, slow down, shut down that it does. And that might help you, Cora. I would do that real quick and see if that helps you. I'm not going to shut down my iMovie because I opened it up to tell you how to do that. So for those of you that work with iMovie, that's a way to clear up space in the background to help you manage if you're working on a laptop and not a desktop computer. If you work on a desktop computer, the cleaner file on your desktop computer will actually clean up those files for you. On laptops, I found it doesn't, and I don't know why, because those files take up so much space. So I'm going to jump into, before we started that sprint, I was talking about how I was going to show off my Book of Shadows, because I was able to do some work and update even more in my Book of Shadows, and I wanted to show it off because there's some things that I wanted to brag about, because it's a lot of work, guys. But B, I wanted to show you that you can do the input of information two different ways. So we're going to go like this. We're going like this. We're going like this. Okay, so as you can see on these, I actually literally, because it was all information that I just wanted from the book, I just copied it, photocopied it from the book, and stuck it right in. So not everything has to be, where are you? Handwritten, like a lot of my work is. It can also just be photocopied from the book and printed out. So I was able to get a lot of information in here and get a lot more work done with my spells. But this is, here we'll start from the beginning. It's almost like one of those things where I love going back and editing, and it's like spot the differences. Okay, so first page, second page. I should number the pages. Third page, fourth, and I haven't updated any of the spells in the envelope yet. Fifth page, sixth, there's that one. And these ones are all still the same. However, I did add in another one from the WitchCasket unboxing. And for those of you that want to, you can go back and pause and actually look at the details of the book. It's going to be a little hard to read because, yeah, I'm a little far from my camera, but this gives you a better idea of how to. So like here, for example, I shortened down the storing dried herbs information from the clip-it that came from the book, and I kept the spells that I wanted to keep. And that's kind of how I modify things. And then like this one, I love, there we go. I love this quick spell reference. It is one of the easiest quick spell references that I've ever found in a book. So again, just photocopied it here. Come on. Hi. Thank you. Again, another example where I combine the two different ways of doing it. And then I finished my opening and closing of my circle with my altar and added some to this page. And I believe that is it for that. Yep. And then on the back side, because I always, for some reason, do this when it comes to me creating books. So we've got our, how is your female architect? That is, if you guys haven't looked that up, I highly suggest it. All right. There's that. And here's my Persephone. This was a test I took, and I kept it and then put it in the book because it impressed me how much I related to Persephone. And it was actually that test that made me start looking into Persephone. And then it was like, wow, I think I really, I attuned to her so much. It's not even funny. Even to the fact that I hate mint, which I thought was very ironic. So, and then I even have your majestic levels after enlightenment right here. Most people think that once you've reached the level of a, no, there's 7 other levels or 9 other levels above just being awakened. And then obviously my shadow work. And then getting into my crystals and waters and my basic zodiacs. So as you can see, if you're not, this is what you should be doing with your Book of Shadows. It should be basically a slow work in progress where as you find and obtain information, you add it to your book. So, and that's why I have a lot of blank pages because there's a lot more I'm going to add. So that's just a quick recap of what I've done with my Book of Shadows so far. And I'm going to do, I can't wait because I've done this several times on my channel. And so I've gone back and I've kept the times that I've shown it. And I'm going to eventually going to do a quick recap of like a speed through of you know what I mean? A progressive, somebody just said it, like a progression video where it shows the progression of the book. So I just wanted to show that off a little bit because I've done a lot of work on it and it's been going crazy. I've been going a little crazy on it because I've kind of switched off from my art to this. And as soon as other things start calming down a little bit more in my life, I'll be able to start picking up on my Shopify because truthfully, I had to stop creating so much art because I have an entire bin of art and I have no way of selling it because I keep lagging on creating my Shopify. And I decided that instead of creating more art that's just going to pile up, I'm going to stop and force myself to do other things and then that'll be my way of like kicking my butt to do my Shopify and hopefully I'll get it going again. So, and yeah, I'm sure those who have donated and helped supply my art supply are like, really? However, I need to work on my book. So that's what we're going to do for now. And on that note, and yeah, just a heads up, guys, my StreamYard it's acting wonky and funky and funkadelic and actually not fun. So, and it looks like, you know what? We're just going to go until my laptop dies. We're at 50% and it seems like something is affecting technology because I do admit my laptop normally dies quickly or with the stream. However, we're only an hour in and it is far lower than I've ever seen it before. So I think there's something going on with the energies and the sun. I actually have Stephen Barnes' most recent video. I didn't get a chance to watch it because one of my other favorite YouTube creators had just he did a premiere with Dance Moms, watching a Dance Moms things, and y'all know if one of my creator YouTubers does a premiere where they're doing something with Dance Moms, where do you think I'm going to be? So I didn't get a chance to watch Stephen Barnes' video on, there's some new sun activity. So if there's anybody out there that can, go check out his channel real quick. And that might also help with whatever is going on with today. The next thing that I wanted to actually talk about, this is totally, I was like, how am I going to bleed into this? This kind of goes along the lines of my Book of Shadows and witchy supplies and being able to get supplies and stuff like that. I always noticed that around Christmas time, like at the height of Halloween, oh my gosh, everything you need is available. You can find a vast quantity of things you've never expected or thought of having in your little witchy home if you are someone like me who's bohemian and witchy and all about the occult. I mean, look at my books. However, once the holidays hit, once November 1st hits, it's like all the stuff disappears. And I struggle literally from like November 1st to January 1st with trying to find my stuff. And it's not like the Wiccans just disappear for Christmas. Christmas was built off of a Wiccan holiday, Yule. And it just frustrates me so much because I went to go look for an advent calendar this year, and I had this cool idea where I was like, okay, everybody does these advent calendar unboxings on their channel. I am going to do the same thing, but I'm going to do it with witchy advent calendars. Here's the problem. There is not a single one that exists anywhere. From the United States to the UK, I have scoured the internet trying to find a witchy advent calendar. And I even emailed WitchCasket because I have a WitchCasket subscription. How ironic that just happened. That might be my Amazon delivery. So hold on, you guys. It is not the Amazon delivery. It is the guy to spray for bugs. So, you guys might see a shadow of somebody walking around. It's okay. He's just here to spray for bugs. I was really hoping that was my Amazon delivery. But anyway, as I was saying, so I scoured and I even emailed WitchCasket because I get their subscription to ask, do you have an advent calendar? Is there one going to be available? No, it's not even something they thought of. And I was like, okay, fine. So I spent some time and I actually came up. Wow, is that the rain? Oh, wow, that is the rain. The rain's hitting the window really hard. I came up with my own advent calendar ideas. And then, because my mind is so creative, not only did I start creating advent calendar ideas, but I started creating the Rose Chronicle advent calendar ideas. So I have literally 25 days of spells, 25 days of occult supplies, 25 days of colors. And then I have the same thing for 12 days of spells, 12 days of colors, and then 12 days of altar dressings. And then I have 12 days of Melinda, 12 days of Ari, 12 days of Howard. And it's kind of hilarious to me because now I'm going to be adding to my lovely book of how many things can I come up with about my characters. We're going to be adding a page for advent calendars. Just and then I'm also, once I get all the details, because I have most of the details that I'd want for my advent calendars. Really, you're gonna fight me? Thank you. I'm gonna actually email WitchCasket and be like, hey, just in case you need some help and ideas on that, here you go. So I don't know how many of you will put down in the comments if you guys think that's a good idea, if you think it's a bad idea. I think it is, because I know so many of us witches out there that love the holidays as well. And a lot of these advent calendars, even this year, except for who has the choo-choo train advent calendar, the pink one, I forget her name. And it's right at the tip of my tongue, but it's kind of, I guess my angels don't want me to advertise for her, but she actually is a controversial makeup person. But other than one advent calendar that I've seen of the unboxings this year, the rest of the stuff really does seem like a bunch of the leftover product that they're like, hey, okay, just stick it in travel sizes and throw it in an advent calendar so we can get rid of it. And I think they started doing that because 5 years ago, if you go back to advent calendar unboxings 5 years ago, it wasn't necessarily like that. You would actually, like Sephora, and MAC and other companies, you would get a fairly good value for what you were purchasing. However, now I wonder if companies have caught on that it's like a bunch of influencers that are now buying these subscription boxes. So they're throwing their last products in it just to get rid of stuff and let these YouTubers do what they want to do, and they don't suffer financially. Nobody suffers financially because the YouTubers make their buck by doing these advent calendars, and the company makes their buck by not losing on products. Going into that, I also noticed that a lot of the beauty advent calendars, those seem to be the ones that are the most significant loss in value. And even Lancome's this year, I watched it and I was like, I understand beauty and makeup, or not makeup, but beauty and face and like the cleansers, the toners, the lotions. I understand they are so important, but how many eye creams and under eye creams and how many creams can you put in one box to put on a single face? I use one product, Oil of Olay Beauty. I wash my face with Dove lotion and I put on Oil of Olay Beauty. That's my routine. It's been my routine since I started washing my face when I was 14. I use face wipes I think I use the Neutrogena face wipes to wipe off the makeup, and the rest of it is Dove soap and Oil of Olay. But when I was watching these advent calendar unboxings, I put together how I'd been making these predictions for a little while that Hollywood is falling. Like the old industry is just falling to pieces. And I came across Swell Entertainment's most recent YouTube video, and I noticed that she actually went to BeautyCon. And if you don't know who Swell Entertainment is, she is a YouTuber that goes to a lot of these conventions. She goes from everything from Comic-Con to race car cons to beauty cons, like any con that she's not banned from already for giving honest reviews on. She goes to, and that's what I love about Swell. She gives you the honest review. She gives you the truth. She doesn't sugarcoat anything. She shows the videos that she was able to take, and she tells you how hard it was to get in or out, how much access there was. Is it worth your buck? Pretty much. And she brought up that she had gone BeautyCon this year. And if any of you remember, in 2019, 2020, BeautyCon was huge. It was bigger than Comic-Con. They actually sold more tickets at BeautyCon than they did Comic-Con. And this is when the whole YouTube beauty drama was at the height of everything, with Tatia Westbrook and James Charles and Jeffree Star and all of them. And it was, I mean, the booths were extreme, the decorations were extreme. There's so many photo op opportunities. It was a really good, or a really well organized, planned out event. Evidently, fast forward to 4 years later, it is now the complete opposite. And it is almost like you can see how flipped the industry is now, just based on how bad BeautyCon was. Just from what she said in her videos. And here's one thing I love about Swell is she tries to make the best of it. I mean, she's spending money to go to these things, and you know, she's spending the gas, the time, the energy. Yes, it's for her channel, but she's still doing it. You know, those of us that have YouTube channels, I mean, you still have, it's not necessarily just sitting down and gabbing about it. There is work behind the scenes that you have to do. And you could just tell that she was really disappointed by it. And I don't blame her. How far out the venues were stretched, or the booths were stretched. She said that even though they did shut down in 2020 because of, you know, the lovely thing that we can't say on YouTube because you'll get banned, happened. However, the beauty industry still was on an uptick. I mean, we all remember Sephora and Morphe and everybody going crazy, right? However, VidCon and BeautyCon seem to have merged together to create a fall short experience that is poorly planned and half-assed. And that's being polite. That is honestly being polite. There was nothing pretty or soft about the venue. When you think about beauty, and even though I hate pink, you think about the frills, the fancies, the colors, the pinks, the rainbows, the lace, the sparkles, the frosting, right, on top of the cupcake. You would think that you were walking into Home Depot with the venue. It was concrete, it was metal, it was hard edges. And don't get me wrong, there is nothing wrong with the Home Depot convention. You want to take me to a construction convention. I love my power tools. However, if I'm going to a beauty convention, I expect there to be a certain aesthetic that you stick to. And it's kind of like whoever planned BeautyCon also planned whatever event happened down at Disney, because it seemed to be the same layout and spacing of the booths. It seemed to be the same, like, we just brought in a bunch of things and set them up and decided not even to try to change the whole look or experience. It was scantily decorated. And for me, it's one of those things where I look back at the Ren Fair that happened here in Spokane. And there's a couple of other things that have happened around town where I'm almost looking at planners and people going, it is hard enough to buy milk. It is hard enough to buy a pack of eggs. And you want us to spend $30 to $50, maybe even $150 on an event that we could create better in our backyard. And I'm so tired of these companies just doing a crash grab, because looking at the videos that she took and listening to Swell talk about BeautyCon, I just kept flashing to the Ren Fair here, where everything was thrown together at the last minute. They say they had planned for a year, but you just question where the planning went. And if the planning went to how much can we pad our pockets? So the BeautyCon to me also indicates just how much they can't sweep stuff under the rug anymore. Before, with stuff like this, because here's another thing, it wasn't just Swell that covered this, because BeautyCon used to be a big event. You used to be able to go through YouTube channels and see everybody talking about BeautyCon, everybody advertising BeautyCon, companies. Oh, this makeup company is going to be there more. You know, there was like little to no advertising. I didn't even know BeautyCon was going on. And it just shows how much the industry is not able to sweep stuff under the rug anymore. They can't come out and say that they have a great event anymore and not have a great event because it's getting exposed on real time. And you can't pay these YouTubers to talk differently. Even Disney is experiencing that. Mainstream media is experiencing that. I think what just happened recently in our politics exposed that. You can't manipulate the public anymore into believing what you want them to believe and offer a poorly planned, half-assed project in the end. So that is my rant on that. And I'm sorry it went a little curtail there at the end. I can't wait to look back on this when I'm editing and listen to myself because yeah, I have my ADHD. I don't do well with distractions normally. And the gentleman came down to spray and I was like, can I keep going with this? And it's so funny because I want to see how I shifted because I thought I did pretty well, but I usually don't handle distractions very well. So on that note, we're going to jump into a sprint, which is something I probably should have done when he came down and sprayed, but you know, whatever. So pull this clock back up, or actually we're going to do that. Pull the clock back up. We're going to bring this over here and we are going to jump into a 20-minute sprint on that note. All right. And I will. It's a good time for a sprint. All right, ladies and gentlemen, which is Warlocks and Wolverines. That's the end of that sprint. And my computer is at 10%. So we're going to do a real quick wrap up here. And it looks like my live streams are going to be about an hour and a half long from this point on, simply because I think that's about the length of time that my computer can handle it. We'll see what happens. It might be even less once I get the wireless mouse. I'm hoping to get an adapter soon, so we'll see what happens. Anyway, just to cover real quick some last little talking points before we wrap this up. First of all, I want to just touch base on the fact that right now I am catching up on my Dance Moms questions. I realized listening through some of the most recent Dance Moms episodes that I might be asking repeated questions. So what I decided to do was take all of the questions that I had originally come up with, compile them into one section, and then figure out if they've been asked or not, and go from there. So on that note, I want to jump into a video that I saw most recently because I found this coincidental. That about the same time that I started mentioning Back to the Bar and Dear Dance Moms and me loving them and being on their, or not being on their podcast, listening to their podcast and now being a Patreon member, an incident happened that I am now finding it actually kind of difficult to listen to Dance Moms simply, or to Back to the Bar, simply because my heart breaks a little bit. Mac Z Boss actually covered this channel that evidently, and this is all alleged, something where Chloe Lucasiak with her mom and two other childhood friend and her mom were creating a company named Elevate. Evidently, something happened behind the scenes with Elevate that now the whole company is shut down. On top of that, I've heard there's some situations regarding Miss Lucchese, Christie's actions that have caused some things to happen in personal life and relationship issues that have also created kind of a hard negative feel when it comes to situations that they discuss now. And I'm hoping that Christy takes these hits because she got a DUI in early December. Then this situation happened. And I'm really hoping that she takes this as an example of what I've been talking about how God will hand you certain things if he needs you to wake up and become a better person. And it's kind of hard to listen to Back to the Bar now, or watch Back to the Bar. I've started listening to it again on the podcast simply because it's hard for me to see Christy sitting in her car all the time now, knowing maybe not everything that went on in the background, but maybe having a little bit of an understanding why she might be in her car. And it just breaks my heart. So just know, for Dear Dance Moms and Back to the Bar, you do have, like, I'm not going to turn my back because, number one, I would be an absolute hypocrite if I decided to just be like, you can't do that, you're so wrong for it, because those who know me know I have not made the best of choices in my own life, and I've had to learn things the hard way as well, and sometimes I wasn't always listening when I should have been. So I'm still supporting Back to the Bar and Dance Moms, but it's, you guys might not hear me talk about it for a little while because it's hard to listen to right now. And it used to be a really happy place for me. And on that note, I decided that I was going to go ahead and do the Dance Moms girls and their birthdays, because one of two things. I kind of wanted to see if maybe there was some relation to Christie's sign and what's going on with the organization of planets, and how all of her stuff that happened right now just happened to coalesce with Mars and Mercury going into retrograde. And looking at it, she is Pisces. She is a day of design. Her day of birth, March 3rd, is the day of design. So as a water sign, having 2 fire planets go retrograde on you during this time when you are a day of design, I don't know, it just lined up for me, and I found that very ironic. So just know, Miss Christy, you've got people praying for you and people that are supportive of you, because I know what it's like to go through hard times and have people withdraw and disappear on you. And I'm not that type of person, but I also know how hard it is to continue putzing through life and acting like everything's fine when in the truth, everything in the background's falling apart. So I just wanted to say that because, yeah, I was working on my dance mom's questions, and it's one of those things where I was like, I really want to be happy writing this stuff, but I'm so upset about what happened. Anyway, we're going to end it there because I just got the flash warning that my computer is going to die. So I'm going to say thank you for everybody who came in and joined us for these talking points. I appreciate you being here. For those of you that came in into the sprints, I hope that you got some work done with me and that I was able to maybe distract you a little bit during these talking points. Cora, I only spent 10 minutes of the sprint editing because the baby is awake from his nap. Oh no, he is now crawling everywhere. I'm so screwed. You've got 3 kids under the age of 5, I believe, right? You are, I only know of one person that can relate, and that's Miss Kelly Highland. She talks about how she had 3 little ones all under the age of 5 at one time. And girl, I don't know how you're doing it. Wait till he may be crawling now. Wait until he starts walking. And with the noise level at the moment, just wait until he starts talking. That'll be a whole fun time too. Anyway, we're going to end it on that note. You guys, 6 and under. I'm sorry, 6 and under. Still though, I'm going to end it on that note, you guys. Thank you so much for coming in, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Might want to do the branding thing, that part, the button click. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Bye.